Hi everyone, today I'm here in the workout room and it appears as though I'm going to be doing a We3 workout. Like, I'm organised and I have tidy space and I have a plan, and I had a plan all day to do a We3 workout. Did I do it? Like, it's like nearly 7, I don't know, it's like 6 o'clock at night, and this has been on my mind all day. I didn't want to do it, to be honest, and here's why I'm doing it. Because I actually want to talk about the fact that the reason I'm on camera is because I want to do a We3, and the reason I'm here doing it instead of making an excuse is because I want to use the concept of the We3 to kind of show the struggle that I know every one of us struggles with, deals with, and that is the dialogue in our head when we are letting ourselves down, or we're letting other people down, or what we think is us falling short of something. Like, my idea was to be consistent every week to do a We3, because I thought that this was a nice way to get back into doing regular content again, and it would have a lesson attached, and it wasn't just the workouts for the sake of workouts. But this actually gives me the chance to show you that it's not always easy. And when I have, clients would say, I don't want to let you down, I don't want to disappoint you because I didn't do the workouts that you set for me, I didn't have time. And what I realized is that it's not about the time. I did have time. What was happening was I was putting it off because of some kind of fear about not being good enough at it, that I wasn't maybe progressing the way I should, that, oh my goodness, people are expecting this from me and it needs to be like, I still have to live up to some kind of standard that I had set before, that even though I don't feel like doing it, and I have left it so late, and so I feel the stress, and I'm caught in two worlds, which, this is going to sound so dramatic, is only it's so insignificant because it's just a workout and it's just a video, but I don't know, I feel like it's important to show this, that it's not just about that, it's about being consistent at things that you say are important, yet you don't always act like they're important because you put them off or you make excuses. And I guarantee that somewhere in there's some kind of belief about yourself that you have to be better than you are, and right now you're just not good enough. I guarantee it, that if you're struggling with something, whether it's workouts or not, whether it's life or not, that there's going to be something there that you think you're not doing right, that you're missing something. And I might be missing strength, I might not be as good at strength, and I might never be as good at strength again, and I'll certainly never be the best at it. So why do I get caught up in any kind of circle of not being enough? And often that ends up as ending that by saying, why bother trying? Or why did I even bother? Or whatever, it ends up coming back to inaction. And so it's not always about time. In fact, I would argue that it's very little about time, but more we're caught up in doing other things, and we get caught in, it's hard to change your behaviours. It's hard to change, even if it is important. So it's not about whether or not you're lazy or whether it's important. There's a lot of things that go on, but I want to use this opportunity to say that I've sat in front of the computer most of the day, did mow the lawn, I did rake and stuff, I walked the dog, and I knew I had this to do, and I thought, what am I going to do for my We3? So I thought I would just talk about the struggle of doing things that even though you want to do them, you just can't. But I am here to do something, which is the whole point of the wee 3. Doesn't mean I have to do 3. I'm going to do kettlebell snatches. I'm actually going to do a couple of other things as well because I'm here. And this whole scenario kind of is a miniature representation or symbolic or whatever you want to use it to apply to other things. So I was making all of this a big problem, and I had all sorts of reasons for not doing it. It boiled down to me being afraid of failing at something or not being bothered. Nobody really cares about the wee 3 anyway, and it's not really doing anything, blah blah blah. And what I decided to do was make it into a bit of an opportunity to show that I mean, you all know by now that I struggle with stuff, so it's no big secret, but I want to show you it in action, how I managed to come here anyway and do it. And that is by saying, well, I'll just go up and talk about the struggle of doing things and try to maybe give 3 pointers to what you can do. Well, I'm here because, one, I made it so that it was important and that there was a bigger picture. And that always works. If there's a bigger reason for doing something, that gets me interested. That makes me see the point of doing it, that it's not just superficial, that there is a bigger or deeper lesson to be learned, and that always sparks my interest. Second of all, I made it so that when I set it up, I'll only do one exercise. The kettlebell snatch, it worked for me before. When I was back home in Ireland and I was struggling to do anything, I would just go in and do some kettlebell snatches because I was practicing those, and it was a challenge, and it was something that got me warmed up as well at the same time. And then I ended up doing other things. And so what I'm doing as well, the third thing, is I'm suspending all judgment. I'm just being aware of what's happening. I'm being aware of the fact that I had that struggle, and I'm being aware of the fact that I made it here anyway, and I have a bit of a plan. I have at least the first step. But after that, if I didn't do anything else while I was here, I would still feel like I accomplished something and it had a bigger meaning to it. And it wasn't just, I did a workout, therefore, I'm not going to whatever. What is the workout itself going to do? So the point is that I and just like you can set yourself whatever types of goals it is and see it for what it is. See the bigger picture of why it's important that you come and do something anyway. That you decide on something that is doable and possibly fun to start with. And then you go from there. You don't judge yourself. You say, okay, I did the plan. That is my plan, to go and do something rather than nothing. And yeah, it's worked so far. I've managed to talk for a while about it, so that's the first part. Second part is going to be doing kettlebell snatches, and then I'm going to see what else happens. Snatches, you want to do about 10 each side, because this is a light kettlebell and that's going to be doable. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to do 10 burpees modified against the bench and with a push-up and no jump. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. And I think the third exercise, as I've got the bench here, is I'll just do hip thrusts. Because I've been sitting all day. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do 20. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. So if I had been doing a single leg hip thrusts, then I would have done 10 each side, possibly more, but depending on how difficult they were. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So back into our burpees. 10 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then hip thrusts. Whew. Okay. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. Final set, or final round even. Another set of snatches. I'm going to mess around with the sport style this time, just more of a corkscrew. It's not perfect, but just want to mess around with that to see. I'd like to try different things. So I face the thumb forward for this one. and I think I've done 10. And it's a very, it's almost like a meditative state, that one. Other side, I'm cognizant of the battery on the camera's about to die. So, into the other side. Alright, and that'll do. Okay, on to the burpee. I'll finish up with these 2 exercises. 1, 2, 3 for the camera dies. 4, before I die. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Final set of hip thrusts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So, I think before I finish I'd like to do some chin-ups, as I'm working on these. So 1 set. I can do 1 more. 6. Oh, destiny. Okay everyone, that's it for today. Basically I'm going to stretch out and I'm going to walk away from this. While I did more than what I planned to do, or what I thought I would do, it's all on how you see it. I achieved something, which I think is good, but it's funny how like I would just walk away and not like, you know, I wouldn't like make myself feel superior or anything for doing more than what I wanted, but it would give me a somewhat quiet sense of achievement about, you know, just accomplishing that. Then on the flip side of that, had I not done this stuff and I was facing, you know, passing it off for tomorrow or some other kind of way to deal with that, not living up to it, then the language and the dialogue would be far different, and the feeling would be that of shame and probably feeling guilty and carrying that with me, confirming to myself and those beliefs that I'm not good enough. And so it is about slowing those things down and seeing what you're doing, the dialogue that's going on and what it is you're giving power to in your life. And those are certainly not the thoughts that I want to carry with me. I feel much more alive really when I'm not carrying those negative thoughts, that the reason I'm doing something is for some other kind of reason, which is a positive, rather than carrying it because I think I should do it, and if I don't then I'm going to feel bad, and I'm not going to be this, and blah blah blah. And then you're in that cycle, instead thinking, well, I have a good thing to teach here, or I have something of value to offer, and even if it's to myself, to actually come up and do some kettlebells and do some things that I enjoy. Doesn't seem like it when I'm sitting down there making excuses for it, But all that is that saying what's really happening. It's not that I don't enjoy it, it's that there's some other barrier there instead, like some belief that I have about myself really, or what other people are going to think, or how am I going to, you know, I don't want to be there, or whatever reason. I mean, I do, but I also am being fought with something else. So finding that and sort of dealing with it, or not letting it stop you, is hugely valuable, obviously. So enough of this. As you know, I like to go on about things. So this is the sort of stuff actually I'm going to be talking about more over on Facebook Lives. And if you go and like my Facebook page, it'll notify you when I'm going live. But it's usually every Wednesday. At the moment, it's around 11 a.m. Eastern time, but it may be different just depending on what's my schedule. But I try to keep everyone posted on that, and dealing with things like these limiting beliefs that we have, and how to overcome them, or at least how I've changed my perspective on a few of them, and that seems to have really helped. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, on YouTube I'll be doing a weekly video of some kind of training stuff. So one of the things I was going to ask you is if you were interested in me doing a kettlebell snatch tutorial. I know there's a lot of ones out there, but not from my coaching style, so that might be something that you would be interested in. It's something I have taught a lot over the years online, so I've kind of got good at explaining some of the stuff, and hopefully, and even not being able to demonstrate it perfectly, just being able to help other people tidy up their form, especially if you're training to do your RKC or your Strong First certificate, then by all means this is a good way to get that. So if you would like that, then let me know in the comments below, and let me know as well if these videos are helping you, or whatever feedback I get is always welcomed, and I'd love to hear from you. So until the next time, next Wednesday for another wee workout, we three, then enjoy this one, and I'll see you soon.